Well, good evening, folks, and welcome to another session of our Out of the Abyss. I'm your Dungeon Master, Dungeon Mister, joined by our daring players this evening.
We're
No.
daring tonight. Hey
Yeah,
Twitch, hey Internet.
Hi.
I'm working on using less syllables so I don't sound so I don't know. Too many syllables equals
Erudite.
yeah. Like I'm not going to use that word.
Why use
Whatever
more when
that
you got-
means.
It's like intellectual.
I know it. I'm just joking. It was
Oh,
It's for
I
the bit.
figured you
You
did.
gotta commit to the bit. But speaking
I'm
of the
just making
bit,
sure.
yeah. Speaking of the bit, folks, let's talk about a little bit about what happened last time before we get into what's going to happen this time. So, last time, as you made your way out of Mirabar, escorting a small caravan, you regrouped with Yezebo as Davra had some more questions. But you started your journey through cold hills, and the climate started to warm up once the road started to trail near a bog. And at some point in the journey, with Zach's head on a swivel, he noticed something stalking the wagons by the road. Something big. Dower had a hunch and called out to whomever may be lurking to show themselves. It would seem that a red wizard, accompanied by a bodyguard, both riding wargs, and apparently Davra owed them something or some such they claimed. She gave a nod and battle erupted rapidly. A small pack of wargs with another huge one attacked from behind and the side of the road while the wizardess and guard assaulted from the front. At one point it seemed like you might have to deal with an adult green dragon that emerged from the bog. But luckily, this was you guys ignored it and found out it was just an illusion after defeating the bodyguard. And after defeating all of them, aside from the fleeing wizard, got away through the swamps. Quickly buried the dead as Davra fixed up the wagon, and then back on the road. Nothing really explained about who those people were or why they were after her. Several more days passed through the wilderness, slightly warmer climates though. The roads became more rugged and much less traveled. As it went into the mountainside, caravan was led into mostly darkness. Though sconces and braziers burned occasionally in large caverns. Coming to a large stone doorway ahead, Davra instructed the drow amongst you to stay quiet for now. Let her do the talking. As well as taking the letter that Yezebo had for King Bruner Battlehammer. As the doors opened, you could see a vast cave network of semi-broken stone, low lit by several braziers and torchlights, water even running through. You've arrived at Gauntlgrim, and that is where we're going to pick up. Opening this large door, and peer past it, but out of it come a dozen heavily armed dwarves and heavy plate armor as well. One of them kind of steps forward. Hey, who goes there? A company, led by, I believe I'm not to be expected, but I do have good tidings for your king. I am Davra Jasur. I have brought something that could prove worth to your people, as well as a letter of introduction, I believe, from someone important. And hands a letter to a stout dwarf. What do I do with this? If you could take it to Bruner, please. We don't mind waiting. but we would love an audience given the chance. Gives a nod to you all. Right, we gotta inspect the wagon, so, come in through the gate. Just watch you for a moment. You can stay at the entryway and go run it up to the king. And the wagons would be led inward to a kind of staging area of an entryway, so more or less. As the dwarf who will take the letter and start traveling upstairs, he is expected to be... One of the other dwarves will tell you, would be some time, so make yourselves comfortable. Gives a look over. Fucking Drow. You spider kissers.
No, mate.
No.
Who sent you?
It's in that letter.
Right. But I'm asking a question that's not in the letter. I ain't reading.
Right.
I'm asking.
I'm supposed to get her here. That's all I know.
Right, but who sent you? As you can see, a couple of other guards start to grasp weapons.
I look at Isabel. Name drop.
Look, they came by their own volition.
Right, I understand that, but who sent them?
I just told you. They came
Me and
by
myself.
by their own volition. No one sent them.
Give me a deception check, Casmus.
Yeah.
I'm going to say
Oh,
disadvantage, because these guys are very scrutinous.
Just keep going. Name drop. Name drop now.
19.
19.
You hush.
Right. But who sent you?
I'll step forward and reach out my hand to shake it, and I'll be like, "Hi, I'm Isabel, and
I'm not touching your hand. You better keep that thing down before I cut it off. A simple answer will do you good. Who sent you?
My father."
What? You gotta answer the fucking question. Are you daft?
You asked who?
I don't know who your father is from my asshole. Who sent you? Who's your father? Or is that a better question? As you can see, this dwarf is getting
Sure.
pissed.
Yeah, I see.
As
a bunch of
all are
dwarves.
the other dwarves, are like
Uh-huh.
probably a gaggle of at least a dozen, if not more, that kind of stop what they're doing and pay attention to this conversation. As a certain tenseness, and Davra just straight, also curious, leaning in.
Yeah.
Zach can't say
Contemplate
anything.
stunning strike Davra, and then instead of that, step forward, sort of, not right up on the dwarf, but close to him, and say, friend, these drow are no threat.
I know
To
they're
you or
no
your
threat. We could chop their heads off right now. But they're here in our land, and we need to know who sent them. She said, a father? I need to know who the father is.
Right.
And that is why we're seeking an audience with the king.
Because of we need to know who the father is?
I look at Iz pleadingly. I can't tell him.
I'm not looking at you. I'm not paying attention to you.
Listen, we'll need some answers quick, or we'll be in cuffs. Stay for
Isabel's
execution.
gonna
Zach's
get-
just
is
getting
pretty
ready
short.
Dusk says,
Isabel's
turns
gonna-
to Isabeau and says, I am not being put in cuffs again by dwarves.
It's okay. As soon as he gives me a chance to speak, I will.
Well, I'm waiting.
I get down and condescendingly bend down and look in his face, and I'd be like, "My father is Jarlaxle Banrai,
Who the fuck is that?
friend of King Bruner. Friend of King Bruner."
And one of them will kind of whisper, I think he's related to the Dritz. He was here earlier, right? You hear him kind of mumble. Wait, they're not the ones that unleashed that fucker down there. No, I think they are. And there'd be some like kind of whispering amongst themselves as they kind of talk about rumors that they've heard. Well, that wasn't so hard, was it?
Yeah, keeping your mouth shut, wasn't?
Keeping my mouth shut. You best watch your tongue while
I
you're
could
here.
speak.
You're not in your lands now. The king won't like disrespect like that either. No matter who you're
The
related
king won't
to.
disrespect me.
And I thought dwarves were welcoming.
Well,
No.
we got very open arms, except for those that bring in devils or demons or drow.
And Zach just nods. He's just debating whether he's going to be put in handcuffs or not yet. He's just kind of waiting.
This will be a very uncomfortable stay for some time, with attitudes like that. You should know your place here. Whatever you're here for.
That I can tell you. We actually are trying to.
I don't
get
care
help.
what you're here for, I just need to know who sent you.
Right. I'll answer what questions I can.
Don't bother telling them.
That's a good pup.
Right, mate.
Zach. Shut up.
Yes, boss.
As some of the dwarves start kind of, again, they're kind of overhear little bits here and there about like Orm's like, no, he was the one who unleashed the fire bitch below. Yeah, he got the king killed. Oh, but he came back. Or was that the other one? No, I think they were both there. And they'd be kind of just like talking back and forth about like stories.
I'm kind of curious about the stories.
Yeah, like they wouldn't give enough, but it sounds like they are uncertain if Jarlaxle is Drist or if Drist is Jarlaxle.
Right.
But they know both of them were involved in the refounding of Gontalgrun. In not a good way for either of them. And apparently it caused their king to get killed. And something about some great fire elemental.
Right.
But they will thoroughly search you,
Mm-hmm.
looking in contents of bags and all that.
Yeah. I'll make sure I keep like hands away from weapon, everything. Because I'm surprised we're not in cuffs right now, honestly. Out of character. Like, I'm surprised we're not on the ground attacked by these dozen dwarves.
You can see half of this town is still in somewhat ruin, so it's almost like they probably don't have a true foothold here either. Although they're trying to kind of put on show at the front gate kind of thing.
Yeah, Zach was told to be quiet, so he's not saying anything.
They might occasionally make remarks and joke about, like, having a cat person or a mushroom person, or the fact that an elf has a tail. So they would definitely remark about all of those things. And then Davra would mention a couple of whispers to them. You would hear a few gasps in response. But you guys are held here for a good hour or so.
Yep, and I'm just being quiet the whole time.
And the dwarves wouldn't really want to make small chat with any of you. Because you got 3 drow,
Yeah.
a pale elf with a tail, a mushroom man, and a cat guy. So all very odd by a dwarf standard.
Yeah.
And some quite detested.
Yeah. All the drow.
Daver will eventually kind of come over while you guys are waiting. And no, if you would have mentioned names or who sent you to me earlier, we could have easily have avoided all of that. I did ask you who sent the letter, and you didn't want to tell me.
I'm still being quiet. I nod.
If we're to be friends, I would hope there's a level of trust here. I don't want there to be any bad blood. But all in all, went about as
Zach's
good as
just
it can
nodding.
go. And yeah, after a little over an hour, the dwarf with the letter would return. Right. You? Ma'am, are you with these folk? I would like a private audience of my own. They have escorted me here, but I would happily go. Yes, of course I am with them. I brought them. She kind of seems eager to self-import herself. Right, well, you lot, you're coming with me. Guards,
Zach's still just nodding.
spears at the ready. We're gonna hold your stuff here for a bit. So if you wouldn't mind, weapons, books, things like that, keep them here.
I'm gonna
Trinkets.
take my dagger off. The only weapon I have. Double check. Be careful with this.
Looks like a fucking fairy made it.
It was her sword. Yeah.
Drow and fairy. Sure. And they will disarm and pretty much take all of your possessions off. They're not putting them anywhere untoward. They're just kind of stack them on the wagons, essentially.
Make sure we're not armed.
Mm-hmm. But
Oh well.
about 10 of these guards would start leading you up this long stairway that heads through much of Gauntle Grim.
Zach could probably just be walking like this, where his hands could be seen at all times, like while we're traveling.
The arms are going to get tired if you hold them up for so long.
Right. I don't want to give you any reason to stab me and kill me.
Ah, that's a good idea. Keep them up.
Zach is just like, he's heard tales that dwarves kill a drow on sight,
Mhm.
and that, like, yeah, they've killed like thousands of drow for Menzo specifically, and yeah,
Mhm.
he's just like this the whole time.
Absolutely.
Totally was expecting to get attacked the second they saw him. I mean, based on the stories that we have in Menzo, it's probably like,
Not great.
not great.
Not great. But all in all, a better than expected welcome. But heading through these enormous cavernous halls, essentially, up some stairs and down some other halls, you get a good look overlooking much of the city, although you're certain it's probably only a fraction. There'd be dwarves looking and eagerly curious as to who is being escorted through the halls, as already rumors and whispers are starting since your arrival. But you would see towering statues of dwarven gods and other heroes kind of standing vigil over these chambers, much of them lightly crumbled or through a period of restoration. Some of these halls are wide enough to have like 50 men. Like think like Mines of Moria, kind of like size and scale and twisting, and it's a vast place. Hear the distant clanging of anvils. But eventually, you're led into a mighty hall where you see a red-haired dwarf, a fierce and proud demeanor, sitting upon a massive stone throne, flanked by a number of guards and advisors. And although there is a long stone table set to one side, there are refreshments laid out on it, and there don't appear to be any other guests. As this great king, this is kind of what he looks like. Throne's too big for him.
Good size.
Yeah.
Still kind of looks not necessarily pleased to see any of you. Hey, I guess I'd say welcome, friends. I have a mind to know about the rumblings and rumors about all the goings-on in the depths outside my city. If you relate to me, what you know. I suppose then we could talk about what you might want to do next.
I kneel immediately.
Oh, oh. Well. Which one of you is Jezebel?
I take 2 steps forward.
It would seem your father felt like he owed a debt. Gave you over for servitude.
Sounds about right.
I kind of look up. Servitude.
Right. So, you wouldn't mind pouring me a cup of that wine over there? Gestures to the table.
So I pour a glass of wine for him.
I would say, give me a... Actually, no insight necessary. As you pour the glass of wine... Alright, now you can take a sip. No... What... All it says here is something about demons and... Did Jarlaxle upset another city and decide to let something go running amok?
Don't know.
I don't think this is his doing.
Oh, of course not. That whole family. They got about a good 1.5 Bane race. Ugh.
That's
Split a couple
Right.
of them in two myself.
I know. Thank you.
It's been a pleasure.
Right. I heard that you
lucky I
killed-
feel like one of them's like a son to me.
I didn't know you were that close with Jarlaxle.
No. That one, he really does owe me a favor. I was kidding about the servitude thing. You all need to pipe down a bit. But 3 drow. It's a rarity that you ever meet that many so kind. Assuming you are all kind.
Just don't piss them off.
Dusk waves his hand. So.
Oh,
Very helpful, at least.
what the feck are you? Looking at Dusk.
Probably for the first time y'all have ever seen, Dusk will lower his hood.
Oh, like a big lion or what are they called? Tigers.
I am Tabaxi. My name, Thunder at Dusk.
Sounds like a proud name. Come, drink. Tell me your stories. You even got a mic in it with you from down below.
Does everybody think I'm liking it? Am I liking it?
Oh,
No.
Go with
You're
it.
not
Just
liking
go
it.
with it.
it speaks like normal.
Hi.
Aren't you something special?
I'm Fungi. Nice to meet you.
I'm Bruner Battlehammer, King of Gonthogrim, former King of Mithril Hall.
Form? Okay. Well, like I said, I'm Fungi.
Decided to
It's a nice place you
resettle
have.
somewhere else after I settled Mithril Hall.
No, it's a really nice place. I like your table. I like your cat shoulders. They kind of look like our friend here.
I guess this was just elbow fun guy. Like, don't do it. Don't say anything stupid.
Right, I think they're modeled after a chimera.
That's cool. I don't know what that is, but that sounds awesome.
It's one of the heads of the beast. Looks like these. Other
Oh,
heads
okay.
are dragons and a goat. Goats don't evoke much fear, but the lions do. As do dragons, I suppose, but lions seem more apropos.
Lion's a noble creature.
Right.
Aye, that as well. Kingly, one would say. And he'll
Dusk
go over and pour
mumbles.
himself a big glass of mead. And, well, help yourselves to the spread. We got cheeses. And Diver kind of winces at that. Though we are running low. But help yourselves, bread. If we got some fruits, the stone fruits mostly do good. Tell me. Not many chairs here. It's more of a standing affair. What is all this about?
Demons.
Right, I get that. I read that part of the letter.
The Demon Prince have invaded, or are trying to invade the Underdark.
Is currently invading the Underdark, I think. Right.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Right.
the Demon Prince is taken over the Underdark, and there's some sort of demonic wedding going on. Best we can
Wedding?
tell.
Yeah.
Right.
Who's getting
So-
married?
Zokmo is trying to take over the grove.
Right. And marrying
What grove?
the slime god.
Neverlight.
The Neverlight Grove, the Myconid.
I think I might have heard of it. Is
Then,
that what happened to this one? And kind of looks to Fungi.
Mm.
No,
Oh no,
it's
no, I'm
from
not from there.
Right, so of course I have concerns about demon lords.
And the Demogorgon destroyed Sloopy Doop, the fish folk town. And also destroyed Menzo.
Good chunk of Menzo's gone. A couple noble houses that are good to be gone.
Right, so what's the real
then-
problem?
And then Jubilex is attacked the gnome cities,
What's a Jubilex?
and I want another of those demon prince.
How many are you counting now?
5. 4. Jubilex, Zokmoi,
Demogorgon.
Demogorgon,
Hey,
and
that's
was
the
it
only
Port
one I've ever heard of.
Right.
We also came across what were some possible cultists of Orcrist.
Orcus, I know that one too. Responsible for a lot of ghouls and the like.
Right.
Yeah.
We helped secure Blindingstone.
Ah, good folk, good folk.
Well, they're
temporarily.
safe for now. Temporarily. We took back the city from the Pudding King.
Was it some sort of dessert?
In
No,
no
it was
gnomes day, it was an ooze.
Oozes.
A
Oh, I
gnome.
get it.
Not oozes.
Gnomes and their names, they do have a
Oozes.
tendency to go a bit overboard with it, don't you think?
A little bit.
Right.
Guess he did make a lot of funny names.
Yeah, pudding makes sense.
So
See?
yeah.
They made quite a journey. Well, I do not care what happens to Menzo, to be frank. But still concerning nonetheless. We're pretty close to the Underdark here. The tunnels go pretty deep. And
That's our main concern.
we have
Once they
noticed
took under it,
occasional bits, small ones, coming up through the vents.
right. Most of our company was destroyed. There were 25 when we set out. Me and Iz are the only ones that remain.
Looks like there's 8 of you now.
Right, we met these good folk and helped secure
Yay.
Blindingstone.
yeah. We met halfway. We met
7.
somewhere in the Dungeon of the Dark.
He also counts Davra as one of you.
Right.
As Davra's she's nodding along.
That's our main concern. Once they take the Underdark, they'll try to go for the where the surf.
Right, we don't even want them to take the Underdark. That sounds all bad too. There's so much close, so many tunnels, so many trading. Like the good folk in Blingdenstone. Yeah, some of my good friends went down there.
We came up here to try to find allies, to find an army to help us
An army.
defeat.
I'd be so lucky.
Or at least get some allies.
My allies I can do. I got a notion to I can call in some favors. Know some people up in some high spots. Probably come have them a small fete or something.
That would mean a lot, King Frank.
It's Brunner Battlehammer, the Slayer of Dragons.
Name's
No, he
Brunner.
said he wanted to be Frank. Wait, what?
Oh.
This mushroom lad's got a bit of a comedian in him, eh?
Yeah, I think
Huh?
that's where his name
Yeah.
comes from.
Something like that.
Fun guy.
So
What's
I
he
thought he
talking
was just
about?
saying he was fun.
No, that's my name.
Right, your name's Fun.
No, fun guy.
You are a
Fun
fun
guy.
guy.
Thank you.
Are you pleasant at parties?
I haven't been to many. I mean, we usually have, I guess, bars back at our house, but everybody's kind of, a little stiff there.
Okay. Well, could take some time. Get some members of the Lord's Alliance and perhaps the Harpers. I know some folks there that might want to help.
I
Davra
think the
would.
Lord's Alliance are going to help us.
I think they got a chance. I won't say for sure. It won't be my job to convince them of everything, no? You might need some help on that note.
I ain't much of a diplomat, so don't ask for my help with them.
Well, if you want allies, you gotta convince them yourself. I'll do what I can and give a spiel, but you're not gonna be getting many persuasions from me. I'd sooner drive a hammer through all of them.
I don't blame you.
But it could take a few weeks or so, like I said. Tell me, what else have you encountered in your travels? Came a long way. You are from Menzo. Are you all from Menzo Berenzen?
No,
I've
Definitely.
never
not.
been.
I'm actually originally from Baldur's Gate, down south.
Oh, a bit warm for my blood.
Yeah, it's a bit too cold for my taste up here.
What are you doing in the Underdark? Clearly, at least one of you isn't from there.
Guess we're just gonna give a little soft sigh. Well, some of us originally were captured by the Drow. We escaped.
Turns an eye towards
Not being dry.
Zach Yezebone Weller.
Right? No, not.
Not them.
Oh no, there's other ones.
Other Drows.
Well, I mean, I've heard of captor turned friend kind of thing happen before.
Oh no, nothing like that.
No,
Don't
no,
keep
we met
space.
them. We met them many days after we escaped.
Do you know where you were captured at?
I don't recall where it was.
Right, so it's probably somewhere about Menzo Berenzen.
Either way, I'm glad to be out of their clutches.
Of course. Been captured by Drow myself once or twice.
We lost good people on the way out of the Underdark, unfortunately. A lot of good friends. We met while imprisoned, and we lost them, unfortunately.
I'm sorry for your losses, but let's drink to their memory, no? You know, just lift
Yeah.
up a mug and then just start drinking without, like, actually saying anything about it.
Yeah,
Okay.
not just not and drink.
Oh
to
yeah.
that.
That's
Well,
basically
just-
what happened to this point.
Was that it?
We'll see.
Whereabouts have you been? You said this Grove place in Blingdenstone.
Yeah, we've been to Gracklestog,
Duh.
Sloopy Doop.
What are you doing in Gracklestug? You didn't end up slaves there.
No, we did not. Thank God.
I mean,
Getting
not that
weapons
anyone
from-
want to pay for a stringy little elf like you, but
No, we originally went there because we got lost on the Dark Lake, and we ended up finding a boat, and they were going there, so we went there. Then we moved on to the Grove on our way to Blingdenstone, and then we came back to help the gnomes. We went back to Gracklestug to get weapons and armor.
you left Grackles. You went back to it. That's just madness.
It was the only place we could get weapons and armor.
Hey, is
We
it
didn't
true
really
they
wanna
have
go
a
back.
dragon there? Big red one.
Yes,
Yeah.
we saw it.
Yeah,
Talk down.
A bit of
He was
a,
funny.
he's a big dragon, right?
Right, that's what I
Like
heard.
that.
Like big.
he's a beast. But barely is able to walk.
You know, there are some stone giants unfortunately, in Gracklestug. That is their homeland.
I
Oh
know.
yeah, they're friends of ours. They were neat.
We lost Jarl against the Pudding King.
Again, drink to his memory, eh? And just take
Hey.
a big chug and pour himself another. Well, at least you made some friends and lost them along the way. On the lake, though, too. That's Wouldn't like to go on the lake.
No. If I can avoid going back on the lake,
Heard tales of
I'll
it.
do so.
None of them good. Heard a great aboleth controls most of it. Wouldn't be surprised it's festering demons all in its beneath the dark waters.
Well, luckily we haven't found an aboleth, but we found other stuff.
Might as well be a demon. At least those are easier to fight because you just gotta smack them with a hammer. Arbalest, mess with your brains. Davra would finally kind of speak up slightly. I could be of assistance with allies. This may come from what would seem like an ill-tempered organization, but the Zentarum do have ties in the Underdark, and I'm sure I could put word to aid in such an endeavor.
Right, that sounds good.
The Zents,
I've
eh?
met a couple Zents.
As I said, we might have some friends in common. The Black Network. Do not like the sound of that. But we do have a foothold down there, as well as hidden passages going down below that would be a little easier to access. Bruno kind of furrowed his brow, slowly drinking his mug. Yes, down to Mantle Dareth. I believe I mentioned had contacts
Right,
down there.
That's where we were originally headed, was Mantle Dareth to come up here. Before we were waylaid by demons. Does the city stand currently?
The last I heard, it's doing just fine. Less of a city, more of a...
Trade outpost?
Yes, I would call it an outpost for sure. Trade goods along the Dark Lake, and even to Menzo Berenzin from time to time. A number of drow, gnomes, and even deep dwarves, however unsavory, do tend to flock there. As well as, of course, plenty of, as you call them, the Black Network. Do not like the sound of Zentarum meddling in the affairs, but... strange bedfellows, no?
Right.
Well, at this point, we'll take whatever we can help we can get.
Yeah.
I'd agree with that.
We can discuss terms later over a meal or something. I'll allow you to woo me. I would also say, King Bruner Battlehammer, I have brought quite a considerable amount of mithril with me in my wagons. As a donation. No, as trade, of course. But perhaps to ease tensions at a discount. Fucking Zins. We'll discuss all that later. Forges have been acting up lately. Some of the aqueducts have broken and steam is a little hard to bear at times. But many of the forges are shut down. Perhaps we could use it in time. But this is good news. We'll get you some accommodations settled in. It might take some time to,
Okay.
about a month or so. Give or take a few days. Say 10 days. Probably give time to send word and get some people over here. From the Lord's Alliance and the Order of the Gauntlet too. And the Harpers. But I'd be remiss to say, do have a member of the Emerald Enclave here in the city. Might be wise to speak with her as well. Morista Malkin.
Marista Malkin. Where could we find her?
We'll have them send you to her abode. Once we get you settled in, of course.
I appreciate it.
She is running from the Silver Marches. A bit stubborn, though she is quite insightful.
Hey, King Brunner, is it true you killed 100 drow in the battle for Mithral?
Killed well over 100 drow. Easily. Did somebody say I killed less?
No, the tales always say 100. Single-handedly.
No. Well, single-handedly, at least 100. There's probably more if you count, with help.
Right.
Well, it was quite a battle.
Zach, I thought you were saying it was 99 at best when you were telling us about this before.
But Bruner will slam his mug down. We'll make it 100 right now if you don't close your mouth about it.
Zach's just like,
You need to learn when to hold your tongue, Zach.
Zach. That sounds like, what was that asshole from back there now? Zachnafine? Right. He
I don't know
turns to look at Zach. What's your full name, lad?
Zachendrin.
Pretty close. Takes a slow sip, eyeing Zach.
Right. Are you talking about the Sword Master?
That's the one.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's dead, mate.
Right. I know. Heard the tales, though.
Right, I'm not a swordsman.
If only Dritz were around now. Don't know where he's at these days. Probably somewhere with Cat. He'd be a big help. I think the adventuring days might be behind me. Trying to settle in these territories has gotten the better of me in my years. Well, if you got any questions for me, now's a good time to ask them.
Right. How old are you, mate?
Wow, rude.
Tell you I'm older than you.
Right.
Everyone's older
me,
than them.
mate.
Old
It's
enough.
true.
I don't know how old he is. At this point.
I'm
in time.
curious.
Old enough.
Yeah, like,
He's old enough.
yeah,
Oh, much, yeah.
like 500, 600 years old or something.
I don't know if he's
I don't
that
think-
old. I think he's like.
I don't think if dwarves live that old.
No, they do.
Do they?
They do. They're not gonna go out adventuring. I meant if you got any questions about your accommodations, or if you got questions about anything else that might be helpful towards the task at hand. Not worried about my past or future.
Right. Weapons or armors, mate? For sale?
Aye, for sale, you'd... As I said, we've been having some trouble with the fords recently, but... First thing tomorrow morning, we're going for a walk. How about that?
That sounds good.
That walks.
Pack a
Thank
bag.
you.
I got a
One
bunch
of
of packed
my-
bags. Can I hold them?
One of my belongings at the entrance is, well, sentient. I think it's a little cruel to leave her there by herself.
Right, we're not going to keep you from your stuff for too long. Of course, it'll be sent with wherever we get you holed up for the better part of a month.
Okay.
A month, right?
Where else do you want to go?
Where else? You should be waiting here. We gotta take you to the, through the tabernacle, to the Vault of Kings. If you're lucky, we'll show you the forges, see how they're doing. Be about a day and a half journey. On foot, of course.
Yeah.
I'll let you speak to, what was her name? Marista. Before we leave in the morning, though.
All right. Boss, that all good with you?
Fine
It's
with
gonna
me.
have to be.
I'm gonna whisper to Is. We're meeting King Bruner.
Right. That was the whole goal. We've made it.
I didn't think we'd do it.
Wow,
Right.
what a vote of confidence.
You would see Bruner kind of talking to one of the attendants nearby that are just kind of standing there, kind of, all of them, a lot of note-taking from about a half dozen or so dwarven, look like scribes.
Right. Is. What did the letter say?
She didn't know, she didn't read it.
You didn't read it? Ever?
Still sealed.
No, it's still sealed.
Oh. Right.
That's why I carried it, not you.
Right, because I would have opened it.
Hey, Goran! And Bruner will wave over one of the guards. There's plenty of spaces. Show them somewhere to hold up for the evening. Get their shite back to them. Keep an eye on the Drow, though. Don't trust them all. He says it very openly.
Yeah.
Oh, of course.
You have my thanks, King Bruner. And I just bow.
They'll just kind of nod at that. Still getting used to the bowing thing. I don't even... Weird. Drow? Didn't realize you all
Right.
bent the knee.
Yeah.
On
Right.
purpose, at least.
Well, any friend of the boss's is, yeah, to be respected and right.
Don't go putting me in with that lot. I wouldn't call him a friend. Call him an acquaintance at best. He's kin to
Right.
someone who I care deeply about.
All right.
He caused a good bit of trouble here, you know.
I didn't.
We'll make sure these three don't cause any trouble.
Right, I hope so. He's always got his daggers into different things. Never can trust that, you know, pretty sure the eye patch isn't even real.
And Zach will just kind of grin at that.
No, send him, give him a good place, don't get him too far down. Not too far up though either. Good in the middle. Sort of
middle.
like, hey sir, we'll get him set up, you lot follow me? We'll get you set up down, some places. Bruno
Parking front.
raise a mug and I'd like to say it was good meeting you, but bad news is hard to greet well.
I'll drink to that as on the way out.
Okay.
And before you leave, Bruno will tell the guard to like point out where Marista's staying. And you will be led to a small villa that would be overlooking some of the waterfalls. Still having, dormitories above you and below you. But stonework, like ceilings are taller than you would imagine for a dwarven build. And there's some immaculate stonework in here, but it is also old and worn. They would take you to a place that has been half rebuilt, but it would still have some nice beds. Probably needs, someone would be dusting off your... Actually, no one would be dusting off. You would probably need to dust off your beds and stuff as they light torches and braziers. It's a whole, like, small villa. So there's bedrooms enough for all of you, including Davra. And all of your equipment that was taken from you would be here as well. And the guard would point out, like, probably out overlooking the villa, or the villa overlooking would be able to see across the river. And a guard would point out where this Marista Malkin would be.
Should we go to that
Why-
droid first, or
Well, I say we just start making friends while we can, while we're here. Bruno
Davra
was-
will say, yes, speaking of making friends, I would very much like to be yours in this endeavor.
Okay.
Would request some accommodations in return. A give and take. Business arrangement, of course.
depends what we want.
Okay.
What type of business arrangement? I'll pull out my book.
I would like my share. Many treasures found. Understandable. Not looking for vast, grand magical items. But general treasure. You know. And
Indeed.
I would also like any information that you get to be shared with yours truly. From the other organizations, of course. Just to make things a little smoother. I can call in some
Information.
favors from...
Well-
Yes.
We'll think about it.
Oh.
We're not gonna.
I'm kind of like raise an eyebrow.
Of course, also my easy access to Mantle Dareth itself, that none but the Black Network know the path through. So,
Right.
it would behoove
Saving-
you greatly. I don't want to side against you in this. They're just making sure there's some give and take with it.
So information and a share of any treasure we find.
Full share of
For
any
how long?
treasure that you find in your
For how
endeavor in the
long?
Underdark, assuming you're going back.
Right. So just this endeavor.
During your next incursion, we'll say. And I'd like a full report of all information that perhaps Brunner might give, or the other factions that you may speak to. That's all.
Boss, what do you think?
Seems like a steep price.
Very steep price. We'll have to talk about it.
A steep
Among
price
ourselves.
for easy access to Mantle Dareth. I can also provide some support from some mercenaries as well within the Black Network. I also have contacts in Mantle Dareth that would be able to provide assistance there.
Right, which would be really helpful. Kind of looking to everybody because it seems like a good deal.
We'll talk about it.
Yeah, talk
Sure,
about it when
take your
when-
time. I thought we'd grown acquainted over the last stretch of days on the journey. You all have proved yourselves quite useful and know how to keep cool under pressure.
Well, during that time, you made it clear that we worked for you.
And that time. And this would be more of a partnership, less of employee-employer.
What's the
I do
change of,
still owe you for
attitude?
that, don't I?
Indeed.
I'll be sure to get you your purse in the morning. Oh, no change in
What?
attitude. I didn't realize what you all were about. Or who you were friends with. Exactly. Didn't realize I was with some known individual's daughter, as well as, well, you all were pretty quiet about your extent of travel in the Underdark. Seems you've seen a lot.
Right. I really can't say much without the boss's approval.
Oh,
Otherwise
sure.
I'd
I'm
I
gonna
mean,
elbow him right in the ribs.
you can take all the time you need.
I immediately wince as she elbows me in the ribs.
I thought Dusk told you to know when to stop talking.
Dusk is going to, while the rest of the conversation, he's going to go over and start giving Isabeau tips on how to better elbow someone.
Hmm.
Like, you know, a
Really
nice unarmed strike. Yeah.
up there under the ribs.
Yeah. And like,
Yeah.
you know, pushing her elbow into Zach. This is a better place to hit type of.
Nice.
I would, of course, be interested in going myself, at least to Mantle Dareth.
And a guide?
Okay.
All right, shall we go talk to that druid before we get some rest?
Yes, Dapper, we'll see you when we get back, right?
Of course, I'll make myself right at home here. I do need to. Might be dealing with some business expenses, but I will need to get your purse ready as well.
Right. And after we head out, and I'll be like, boss, wasn't that a good deal?
I don't know. We've survived this long by keeping to ourselves.
Right,
The
but we
que-
need allies.
question-
And
The question is can we trust her and the
Zendaro?
Gendarme?
Well,
Yeah.
she will act for her own gain. The part I find distasteful is she's asking us to spy for her. I've heard
Right.
whispers of rumors of this black network, and they are known to deal in secrets.
right, we
So
get
it'd be more
a
of a
bit of our
gain for her,
information.
and we would be giving away secrets of the other people we're trying to build allies with. So that doesn't make sense
What?
to Isabeau.
What I
No.
would suggest is that we make it clear that if we are asked specifically not to share information, we will not be forthcoming.
Absolutely.
Right, that seems like a good addendum.
And everything that we find down there, she gets a share.
No.
No, I can't.
I,
She can have
I
everything
care
she
nothing for
finds down
treasure
there.
or money, so I will leave that decision to the rest of you.
Right, we're basically paying for the routes to get to the Underdark quicker,
Mhm.
rather than go the month-long journey back.
No, the month-long journey is not to go down there. It's for the king to gather what allies he
Right.
can.
No, but
I'm
it'll
saying it
still
takes-
take like a month to get back down
Yeah.
there, probably. You gotta find
Right,
a way.
Has
No.
it taken us a
to
month to get from when we left all the way over here? Did it really take us that long?
You guys found a unknown passage to time. It took you From Blingden Stone to Mirabar, it took, I think, 10 days, maybe a little more.
Right. Let's go get that druid.
Back
See
that
what
way.
if we can get allies in the Emerald Enclave.
Because I know Brigand Earth has ties to the Zentarum anyways. They're kind of our ally.
Mm-hmm. Very much so.
Right, but she's unknown to us. And we've not even met anybody else. And she's asking for us to promise future information.
Because she heard names of the organizations.
And as far as her access to the return to the Underdark, we don't know what Bruner's allies can provide.
Right.
They might provide as much access or easier. We just don't know.
She's like trying to jump the train. She's trying to put herself in front to get all the benefits.
Sure, it would increase her standing in her organization. That is probably her primary goal.
She hasn't been much forthcoming with us. Met her, so
Well, we've not been forthcoming with her either.
Okay, fair
we've
enough.
been a bit more forthcoming as she has been.
She's been matching it.
The only other one of her organization I've met was more forthcoming. That more had to do with the fact that he was begging me to remove an arrow from his ass. Long story. Never mind.
Sounds like a good story.
It's great motivation.
Yeah, very good motivation.
But understand, I'm not saying do not accept her deal. I'm just saying that she will act in her own interests and in the interests of our organization.
Right.
Much the same as every organization I've met.
I would assume you guys are talking while you're walking.
Yeah.
You would be being, like, followed by a pair of dwarves, like, very openly through the corridors and across the bridges. And there would be people, like... Actually, there'd probably be 3 dwarves, one for each drow. And there would definitely be... Like, this isn't a bustling city by any means, but it is... It's probably not as bustling as Blingden Stone. But in similar kind of state, honestly. A little more together than Blingden Stone, but just because of general dwarven organization. But everything seems very, almost militant. But it's a vast area, like much bigger than Blingden Stone was. The halls themselves are just gigantic. But heading across the way, you would be kind of escorted, led, taken to, followed to, looks to be a large stable, but instead of like classic, you know, dirt floors and wood beams and stuff, it would all be stonework and small like half walls that would have large enclosures that would dip down to where you can see a good 2 or 3 dozen like lizards just kind of clinging to the walls around in there, and you're kind of almost like looking into a big like arena type thing, like you're overlooking a balcony. That would be like the stable. There'd be stairs going down there, and there would be other accommodation. You would see actually overlooking the stable herself would be a red-haired individual, couple of braids, looks pretty stern, and almost like she has like tattooed freckles under her eyes, giving a mean kind of mug, looking down, seeing you approach. Doesn't say anything, just gives you a look. That look. Like, what do you want?
That's someone from the surface, or that's not a drow speak.
Yeah, I just bow my head.
Well, I mean, that narrows it down.
It does.
The fun mushroom guy got along great with people.
Oh, she
mushroom
probably.
guy.
Well, she might dissecting.
Oh.
Dusk is going to mumble to himself, and he's going to say, mumble to himself, if this one does not know what I am. And he's going to kind of move forward.
No, I know exactly what you are. Seen your kind before.
Yes, I don't encounter a lot of people with that knowledge this far north.
Quite well traveled.
You might say that.
No,
You are Marissa
I'm quite
Malkin.
well traveled. Yes, I am Marista Malkin. You got a few
the
drow
Emerald
with you.
Yes.
The land.
And they were allowed in the city with their hands intact, eh?
Look at my hands.
They're being watched every single movement.
Bruner's
It's all about good
getting
relationship.
glazy. We can easily assist that real quick. And she kind of reaches for a long dagger, like a kind of a kukri at her side.
That's the drow are guests of the king.
Definitely losing his edge.
He had a
Oh.
favor called him.
Hey, what now?
Yeah.
The king mentioned it would be wise for us to speak with you regarding our reason for being here.
Right, yeah, it would be quite wise to speak with me. What about?
We're
We've
trying
come
to
from the
gain
Underdark.
allies.
She kind of looks towards Yezebo, rolls her eyes, and then looks back to Dusk.
Oh, okay.
Dusk will look at the exchange knowingly, look back at her. He'll say, we've come from the Underdark, and there is a hotbed of demonic activity there. The word incursion has been used. Several demon princes have made their presence well known and have harassed basically all the folks of the Underdark, including the drow.
Oh.
Seems their own demonic patron is turning a blind eye, at least as far as we know.
If she's in cohort with them, who knows?
I wouldn't.
They have their
surprised.
own demonic reasons, I'm sure, but our concerns are not only for the people of the Underdark, but should they gain a foothold, will their incursion spill out to the surface? The king is gathering allies from factions of importance and who may have interest in stopping this. We thought perhaps the Emerald Enclave would be interested in stopping this as well. I don't need to tell you what demons would do to a forest or grove, just for the fun of it.
But I am concerned with Gauntlegrim, of course, but also the Silver Marches to the east.
Yes, those would probably be some of the places struck first, just because of their proximity.
Gauntlegrim is quite we're quite close to the Underdark down there. But what would you have?
I mean, what would we have?
To
You
be
said
honest,
you're
we
looking
are
for support.
we are
it?
still assessing exactly what would be done. If it would, direct conflict would be the answer, or other means.
Hmm.
For now, we are seeking allies who are open to taking action.
I'd be open to it. I'm here to... One of my biggest duties is to protect those in Gontogrim of the savagery below. Within the Underdark. Adding demons to it would just make it that much more particular flavor of savage.
Savage it is. Decide firsthand.
And several times we have been privy to discussions that there is something different with the Faerzess.
That's a
It is more active.
The stranger to
aggressive.
even me. The Faerzess. I've heard of it, not seen its wonders. I've heard it is not good.
No, I wouldn't call it wonders.
It's everything real weirdy.
Well, what are your... And she'll turn to the drow with this. What are your stances on slavery?
No slaves.
It's bad.
Where do you come from?
Men's
Men's
over
over
Anton.
If you were to have one thing you stood for in life, what would that be? One thing. One thing only. That
Freedom.
question goes for the rest
Knowledge.
of you. Freedom. Knowledge. What say you, Tabaxi and friends?
I am a warrior of mercy.
So
If
being
I could have one
merciful.
thing, would be to be free.
No two for freedom. That is,
Well, be free of a contract.
of a contract. What are you talking about? No one's making you write no contract. Is that what you stand for? Writing contracts? Be some sort of businessman.
We could put it that way, yes.
What does this have to do with what you stand for? You stand for business?
No, stand for, like I
Not
said,
business?
being free to do what I want.
So freedom.
Right.
Freedom is too specific, too broad.
What if you could pick one thing? But it's gonna be broad. Not gonna be specific, like, oh, I stand for Gontogrim, and it's very we, or the people within. No. Well, go on. Is this Mushroom Man talk?
I talk.
Of course
Um,
you do. Yeah. Well, what is your? You got a gift there, eh?
Gift?
Hey, you seem a little unnatural there.
Well, I don't know. I seem pretty natural to me.
Do you feel
Like what?
like warm
Happy?
or the cold? Do you feel happy? Yeah, that's another one. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. I feel happy.
Okay. What would you stand for then? You got freedom. You got a very specific freedom. You got knowledge and mercy. What would you say you stand for?
I don't know. I never thought about it. I'm only here to help my friends. As long as they need help, I'm just here to help them.
The power of friendship.
So you stand for
The real
friendship.
friend. There you go.
Stand on my feet.
Stand 4 feet. You might be a bit tall,
I think I'm
not
like
quite
3
4
feet.
feet. Get the freedom, knowledge, a specific freedom having to do with contracts. Are you bound by a contract or something?
I am.
To whom? Are you with some sort of league of extraordinary gentlemen or something like that?
I can't really talk about contract per se.
You're the one who brought it up, not me. And so we're going to talk about it. If you want my help and the help of the Emerald Enclave, we're going to have to talk about these things. I didn't
can
ask. You're the
say-
one who brought it up.
I cannot say the details of the contract.
You cannot say in the details of the contract. That seems awfully
I can't
suspicious.
help.
You see how that sounds, right?
I can, like I said, I cannot talk about the details of said contract.
Alright, then I cannot say about the details of any help I'll be giving you. That's about
It's
how that
not that I
works.
don't-
That's how that sounds, you
It's-
know.
It's not that I don't want to. I am not able to physically. If I do say it would breach the contract, and really bad thing would happen to me.
Do you know what this lad's on about?
Our recent exposure to the Fair's may have some lasting effects.
Give me a deception check, Dusk.
Big ol' 9. He was saying that tongue in cheek.
Yeah. But still, might get one over. No, she... So what's wrong with you, lad? Contracts and all this. You talking about devil worship?
Not worship, but that's to do with devils.
Sounds like you made a fool's error.
Could put it that way, yes. A fool's decision.
Don't want to
Years
truck
back.
with any devils. Neither does the Emerald Enclave. Drow would be one thing. Whatever you're on about with demons. Devils, just as bad. I would have nothing to do with it. And I wouldn't send my kin to do with it either. Wouldn't trust you to defend all of the lands. Or any of it.
Your distrust of one devil, justifiably so, would prevent you from acting on the incursion of thousands of demons.
You make a deal with one person who makes a deal with the devil, you might as well make a deal with yourself. I would advise Bruner against it as well. And I am one who advises him quite well. Quite often.
Right. For whatever's going on with him, the rest of us are looking to stop the demon incursion in the Underdark.
So am I.
And he helped
my main
save
goal.
Livingstone.
Right.
I can tell you, Casmus is a really good guy.
He put his life on the line for
What's a Casmus?
gnomes he barely knew.
It's my
Oh
name.
yeah,
It's his name.
Well, that's quite a name.
Right, I'm Zakendrin.
Marista Malkin?
Right?
She notably does
that's fun
not.
guy. Puts his hand out.
She'll She'll shake Fungi's hand, if only to inspect his hand. But does shake it, but as she does, you can see she's looking at it. She will notably not go to shake any of the Drow's hands.
I'll
I'm
say
not putting mine on.
the natural order is being destroyed in the Underdark. Neverlight Grove has been taken over by demonic presence.
Say everyone give me a group persuasion check. Casmus at disadvantage.
Persuasion.
Well, it's
Casmus
five.
rolling fire tonight.
I mean, now the charisma comes out.
Right?
So much for that negative.
Stand by what I said. I don't wish ye any will. I do not think I can have the Emerald Enclave siding with those who struck with devils.
Is the Emerald Enclave anyway? It says you're from there. Is it just like another rock place?
A what place?
Rocks, like the shiny rocks.
There's rocks in some of the Enclave locations. Rocks here.
So that's
Mostly
what it
rocks.
is. You're with like some other group of rock people. That's what you guys do.
Group of rock people? No, we're keep the wilderness in check.
How do you do that?
By protecting the borders between that and civilization.
Oh,
Like the Underdark.
So-
Keeping that in check.
oh, but like only against like certain things, right?
It would depend on situation to situation.
Or like just other rocks, or what is it?
Or trees.
Or trees? Oh, so you fight against the trees?
No, the trees are usually good. Unless they've gone
Oh.
bad.
So I'm just trying to get an idea of what you guys really kind of do. So the rock house fights
Oh no, they're
against
just the general
bad
nature, not
trees.
just rocks. We do the forest. I'm not quite as partial to the forest. I like the swampy lands, the marshes. But there's all sorts of nature out there. We're
So, but I mean, like
spread
this is
far
like
and
when you
wide.
keep this stuff in check. Like you kind of like it's like a pastime kind of thing. Like it's just like a hobby.
I guess it's kind of like a livelihood thing.
Oh,
Like what you
So
said
then
you
I don't
stood
get it.
for was friendship. I stand for protection.
so then why wouldn't you want to take care of demons in the Underdark?
Because I'd also want to take care of devils. Protection would be protecting my king and all of Gauntlgrim from devils as well as demons.
Yeah, but
No.
only one of them is got like a bunch of the big bad guys coming in this time.
Yet it would
So
seem
I
a
guess I
devil
don't
has-
understand. If you're trying to protect, why wouldn't you stop against the thing that's actually happening?
There is something actually happening right here. It would seem a devil was able to walk through the doors quite easily.
I'm no devil myself.
Okay.
You state your purpose is to protect the balance of the Underdark. But you've refused to do so.
How have I ever refused to do so?
You simply just did.
Oh, wait, I get it. Dusk. No, it's okay. We can go. He's probably a little too nervous. He probably hasn't faced things like this before. It's okay.
I hope you don't speak for the entire Enclave. Your decision seems rather unwise. I would think on it before I would go advise the king. and think, do you want to be the one responsible for what could happen? And Dusk at that will turn away from her and walk off.
She'll kind of scoff and just kind of throw her hand up and turn to look at the lizards. Seemingly unwavered.
And a traitor to the Enclave.
Honestly, all you had to do is not mention the devil thing.
He's not gonna lie to what he stands for.
Out of game because I just realized earlier, you never gave yourself proficiency in persuasion, but
No,
you did in deception. And Cadmus isn't gonna lie.
Yeah.
Charlatan
Mm-hmm.
was because he's good at like things with his hands, and it was giving me
Well, I will say with one ally not gained, and one ally with a possible gain,
Mm-hmm.
that's where we're going to take our little 5-10 minute break. As we'll see what happens when we come back. We'll see y'all here in a few minutes.
See you in a few.
Alrighty, folks. We are back in it. Did we lose? Yeah, we're back in it, folks. So, last we left off, our troop in Gracklstugh. You guys met with King Brunner Battlehammer, who agreed and said he would send word to some delegates from other factions that could possibly bring help. And maybe even come up with a plan. But you guys did speak to both Davra, who had escorted you, or you escorted her here, actually, about the possible alliance with the Zentarum, although debated whether her price was too steep, and also spoke to someone from the Emerald Enclave, a stern dwarf who didn't seem as swayed or as willing to work with not only Drow, but someone who made an alliance with the devil of some nature. But as you were walking away, the evening is yours, as it's hard to tell evening in the caves here.
We have our own
guys up to-
rooms?
You have your own rooms within your... it's kind of like a big suite. Like there's like a group room, there's a balcony overlooking, and all of your rooms are kind of connected. There'd probably even be an old kitchen that hadn't been used in, well, ever.
There's a spell I'd like to cast this evening.
Absolutely. Is there anything else anyone would like to do?
And Dusk will meditate with Dawn a little bit, but he would not say no to an early evening.
Fair enough. What does Zach do as he casts a spell for the evening?
His spell is divination. He, in the low light of his room, he uses the incense required to draw an outline of his shadow. As he waits for the mask to appear, and he asks a question.
Eventually, dark shadows flit into your room. As a mask would appear on the shadow of your own.
What do you desire for us to complete in our time here?
That's a broad question.
It can be a short phrase or a cryptic rhyme. It just has to be truthful.
Your question about a specific goal, event, or activity to occur.
Specific goal. Okay. What is your will in the dealings with the delegation?
It's not going to occur in 7 days.
Is it not?
No, like I said, a month, 10 days.
Okay. What is your will in our meeting with Bruner tomorrow?
What is your will?
Mm-hmm.
I think you would already know an answer to that. I don't know what their will is. That's what is your will for the meeting with Bruner?
Right, because we're meeting with Bruner and we're going on a walk. What does Mask want me to do, know, whatever, learn? And who knows, being Mask, it could be anything from treasure to information to
A very odd one.
Mm-hmm. That's not what you can do or what your God can do for you, but what you can do for your God.
That's a tough one. That's yeah, okay. You would see a helmet with one horn appear in shadows on the floor next to the shadow. And you'd see your shadow pick up that helmet and wear it.
Okay. Okay.
And you would just hear the phrase, "Claim it for your own." Just whispered.
Okay. It shall be done.
But as the rest of you get a good night's sleep, the morning is yours. You wouldn't be... Might be a small delivery of some groceries for you to have to hold you over for the week. But Davra would be kind of waiting at the table in the morning, kind of picking at some food.
Good morning, Davra.
Good morning. Have you all given it any more thought?
I've given it a lot of thought, but I don't speak for everyone.
Oh. Gotta do what the boss says, right?
Right.
No, I know how that goes. Everyone has someone to speak to.
Right. And yeah, I will say that I think your help would be very helpful, if that helps.
I'd wager it'd be more helpful than the others.
I'd agree. Our groups are on good terms.
We need to get as much help as we can, not just one group.
Of course, I'm not saying don't ally yourself with as many as possible. A friend of a friend is, well, often a friend. I'm not opposed to that by any means. The more the merrier, they say.
I agree with it.
Well, I did work out some terms with some of the local smiths. Fortunately, I didn't get the price I was hoping for. Still discounted and discounted further due to some problems at their forges. I didn't take the walk all the way down there. Spoke with a representative of them. Not gonna walk the whole city, where it takes days to go down and back up. Oh, they do have carts. Rail systems. And she'll pull out a bag and plop it on the table. Here's your
Right.
pay for escorting the wagons. Minus the cheese, of course.
Of course.
Yeah.
How
Nothing
much
we
is
could
it?
have done about that one.
600 gold.
100 gold each?
A paltry sum, but well worth it.
Yeah. I'll help buy gear.
Of course. And Dwarven
Let's-
steel is supposedly the best. Especially if you
So
can
they
get your hands
say.
on their adamantine or mithril.
I don't think they'll be parting with that unless we're quite fortunate.
Anything for the right price.
Exactly. And everything does have a price. Just need to be willing to pay it.
Right.
Yeah, we don't have much
We have time.
left.
We have time, Davra. I'm sure that we'll have some discussions and I'm sure we can work something out if the boss says it's alright.
Well, don't leave me in the dark. I am
We got a
Often.
few 10 days left.
often afraid of my own shadow.
One of your terms has brought up some concern.
Oh. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to bring concern amongst you. But do go on.
In regards to the information you wish gathered and shared,
Yes,
we
is
may
that a
not
problem?
be able. if we are asked specifically not to share certain information, I can't say as if we would be able to provide it to you.
Well, I appreciate the honesty. How about this? You don't need to tell me everything that the others say, but at least keep me equally shared and in the know as to what you tell them. So we are all in the know equally as to what you are saying. So you can keep their secrets or whatever they have, if they even have them. But whatever you report to them, simply report the same thing to me.
If you were to accompany us back to the Underdark,
To Mantle Dareth, specifically. I don't plan
Yes,
on
and-
venturing past there, but I can get you there.
and in a way representing your organization, we would not send you with us, or we would not have you come with us without having the knowledge you need to make the venture successful.
Of course. That's more or less all I ask. And I just don't want you sharing secrets to others where I wouldn't be privy to it. That seems unkind and unfair.
Right. Boss, what do you think?
I think that's fair enough.
And an equal share of treasure, of course.
We're gonna find down there.
I'm not concerned with treasure,
One-
so
1/7
I have no
share.
objection.
I have no objection with that.
Yes.
Not for
I-
safe passage. down.
the men I will send with you won't need to get their own share.
That sounds even better.
As they
Well, what
were-
if other groups ask for a share as well?
Well, that's on you. As long as I have an equal share. If it's split 10 ways, so be it. I just don't want anything less than what is, what everyone deserves, right?
Right.
Fairness and all.
I think that sounds good.
Right.
Then we have an agreement.
Of course. That sounds grand. I'll even try to get them to wiggle a little more gold out of the mithril I sold.
Right. Well, sounds good. Well, we've got a meeting with Brunner today. He said pack a bag.
I heard. It sounds like you are going for a walk.
You probably should pack a few rations if you can put in the bag.
Right. Well, based on the accord that we made an agreement with, we did meet with the envoy from the Emerald Enclave.
Oh, how'd that go?
Not well. I don't think that she'll support at this time.
Because of the drow thing.
Yes.
Give me a deception check, Casmus. Okay.
18.
You can lie now.
Well, that is
You said-
unfortunate.
crap,
Zentarum
+8.
share none of those prejudice and are more than happy to ally ourselves, especially for a cause such as noble as this. We also have many dealings with the Underdark, and I would hate to see those crumble.
Right, us two. Well, I guess we better not make a king wait.
All right.
I think that
Yep.
sounds like quite the power move. Could you imagine forcing a king, especially one with such a reputation as Brunner, to wait? He who
It would be-
makes the king wait on him.
It would be
Wow.
impolite.
Of course, I'm just saying it would be a powerful move. What is
Yes,
what is
but
it the kids say? Big dick energy. Something to think about.
it would just be very polite in his own domain.
Of course, I wouldn't keep you any longer than necessary.
All
Since I'm
right.
changing spells out,
Does
do
anyone
clerics still
speak?
get?
Good.
Do clerics still get locate object?
I believe so.
That sounds clericy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Before we leave, I'm just going to. It's a divination. Let's see, is it? I haven't actually ever used this spell.
Yeah, second level divination.
Yep, adding it.
My compendiums are blocked.
What?
Okay.
I'll have to unlock it.
Let's.
Yeah, worry about that later.
I will. But yeah.
It's not the helmet he's wearing, right?
Not the helmet he was wearing when you saw him.
We'll see if he has it this time. Okay. I have a certain spell just in case that I need to learn about.
Actually, no, he wasn't wearing a helmet when you saw him.
Okay.
He was wearing those disrespectful pauldrons, but Dusk will keep that to himself.
I think that I can't remember what they're actually supposed to be. They might be demonic looking or something. Or draconic. I can't remember. No, they kind of look like...
Liony.
They do kind of look like tigers or lions, yeah.
Let's see if I need. Okay.
But there would be a
so
couple of
anything-
guards posted outside your door as you exit.
Yeah.
And Bruder would be standing out there as well.
Just waiting.
Just waiting. Looks like he's in full suit of armor. Got a shield, a round wooden shield on. That has a big symbol of what looks to be a foaming mug. Has a very sharp and gnarly looking battle axe with like spiked ends on the other side. Just kind of behind his back. And he would be wearing the helmet, as he looks more like that in this moment.
Right, that helmet. Okay.
Going on our walk.
Hey!
Mhm.
Hope you all packed a bag.
Right. Got my backpack.
Like what it?
I like to show everyone of any importance. A little walk through the tabernacle in the vault. All the way down to the Great Forge.
The Great Forge.
Day. If it's in working order, that is.
I'm very interested.
It's quite a journey, so plenty of these places are still unexcavated, and plenty of them are still have little bits of nasties here and there. You might see cloakers from time to time. If you see a ghost, leave it be. Let them rest.
What's Weller's reaction to that line?
Right.
I
Not
was
had good
good.
dealings with
I
ghosts.
told you so. Ghosts everywhere. But do not worry. It's the rust monsters and the Gricks that you got to worry about. We got constant patrols roaming the place, but you never know. We've even seen a Dryther or two come up from the depths.
Foul beast. I spit at it.
Foul indeed. But that's
Let's go.
neither here nor there. Well, hopefully they're not there. Definitely not here. But just on through a journey and a walk, if you will. And he would start taking you kind of stoically, but at least at first seeming proud, but then as like this walk starts to go on lengthy, he will start to get restless and start to kind of inquire as to like where you all met and like where you're all originally from, and get like the whole, as much of the whole story as possible and as much as you'd want to share. Any particularly awesome battles that you remember or cool sights you saw in the Underdark, you'd be very interested in those.
I think tell him about the ones on the Dark Lake, especially like how what is it? It wasn't. Was it Kuatoa we were fighting? The ones that were demonically possessed
Watoa,
the first
yeah.
time? Yeah. And then there were Marrow.
I would say he would ask each of you individually, like, if you had one great battle in the last month or two, what was it? I would like everyone to choose one memorable battle or moment.
I'd say in the last month,
That
probably
was
the
with defeating the Pudding King. All
Yeah.
of us.
How would Fungi describe this fight?
Oh, well, like a while ago, we made these friends with these gnomes over in Blingenstone, and we mentioned it the other day that there's the Pudding King thing, and they had all these really mean, oozy things, all trying to come at us, and there was the one really bad guy who's in charge of them all, and Fungi is just terrible at telling stories anyway.
Yeah.
And basically, we all just kind of got. Oh, and we had a big monster, and he had a big monster. We made them fight each other, and
You had a kaiju
we
battle.
picked them up. Yeah,
That
nobody else knew that.
sounds amazing.
that's where we lost Jarl.
It's all right.
Oh, the slimes and stuff will get you. I've heard tale of brown mold and green slime and yellow slime. Not to mention the ochre jellies and the cubes. Do you fight any of those?
All of
Well,
those.
yeah, but we had a friend one.
we befriended
But
a
she
cube.
stayed down there.
You had a friendly cube.
Yeah, they were really cool.
Glabagul was his name.
That sounds appropriate for a cube. I'd like Fungi to give me a persuasion check. I'll give you advantage on that.
I like it. Since he's the nicest one in our party. Most
Hold on,
friendly.
wait a second. The nice one needs a little bit of help.
Mm-hmm.
Just fun.
Using your knowledge from a
There.
past life.
No, I was gonna go a little higher with that one.
You can do both, I don't care. The 13.
Oh yeah, sure. Let's do both. I don't really use them enough. There we
Yeah,
go.
with a 19, Bruner is
Now it's a decent roll.
definitely impressed by the story. And he'll even try and help you kind of embellish it from time to time. And he'll look to the rest of you, well, any good battles yourselves? This one already told the one about the pudding court. Are you all involved in that?
What about it? Yes, we were all. One
Yeah.
before we met our drow friends about a very large basilisk.
A basilisk.
That we had to
And you
kill,
didn't-
yes.
You didn't get turned to stone.
Unfortunately, one of our compatriots did.
Mm.
That's unfortunate. I'm told the
He's down
eyes of a
there.
basilisk has a gland within them. And if procured correctly, would perchance undo the stoning.
Yes, but I could have tried, but the basilisk was completely rotten when we killed it. So,
See.
fortunately, we couldn't save our friend.
I'd like Casmus to give me a persuasion check. He talks about this basilisk fight.
23.
Okay. Bruner seems quite impressed, especially when you describe like the size of it, because he'd never seen a giant basilisk like that. Seems truly impressive. Essentially, he's trying to gather stories. So he would talk about a time where he squared off against 2 basilisks, but like kept his shield up to keep him at bay. And actually, occasionally, as he raises his shield, a mug would appear next to it, filled with, as he kind of catches it. Oh, hang on. Chugs a mug of ale real quick, and I never know what to do with these things. Just chucks a mug down the hall.
Right, you produce alcohol at will.
Oh, just occasionally. Sometimes I forget the shield does it. I don't wear it too often anymore.
That's the best shield ever.
Aye, it is. That's why it's mine. How about you? We've all been in any battles recently?
Isabeau's gonna get out her book and she's gonna like flip through, and she's gonna show him pictures of zombies
What are zombies?
and things that used to be alive and were dead and then came back to life.
Wait, I know what a zombie is. Where'd you
They
fight
were-
him? Tell me about it.
It was in the Garden of Welcome, in the Neverlight Grove.
A garden.
Aye.
Well, it doesn't sound too welcoming, does it?
It wasn't.
Not in its current state, no.
What, tell me more about these zombies in this garden. Lots of, like, green plant life around, or what?
Mushrooms.
Mushrooms?
Well, the mushrooms. Yeah.
Oh, down there in the Underdark. I often forget about that
Right.
stuff. What kind was it, like all mushy and gross?
No. It's actually quite beautiful.
Interesting. And zombies. Let's hit the Myconid place.
Yeah. Mushrooms.
Right, okay. Like for Yesbo to give me a persuasion check.
Right. She's great at it.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah,
That 20 seems
that 20.
he seems very intrigued about the Myconids, and he's only had a few dealings with them. But definitely not Neverlight Grove, and like hearing about this garden of welcome and the zombies that didn't seem to be controlled by Myconids. He's definitely intrigued about that.
Mhm.
I'd tell them about the Flame Keepers and how we fought to get. We had to break our way into it. They had stolen something precious to the Stone Giants, a crystal.
As
They
they're
used to
wont to
speak-
do, they always Fucking deep dwarfs. Giving us a bad name.
Right. So we had to take a bunch of them out, and we fought a giant bone dragon, wreathed in flame.
A bone dragon. So like Dracolich.
I don't know what that is, mate, but that sounds about right.
The
Yeah.
bone dragon, that's the only word I know for it. Wreathed in flame though.
Right.
What
We
happened
took
to
that
it?
out. Oh, we destroyed it. Weller has his hammer there,
There was
and
kind of
Dusk
motion
has the
to it.
blade of light. Yeah, and Dusk has his blade of light.
Blade of light.
Right. You're not. Yeah, the sword he talks to all the time.
Well, you got one of those too. He'll turn to Dusk.
Dusk will sort of hold out the pommel.
What are you missing the blade part?
And he'll raise an eyebrow, and then he'll ignite Dawn. Because this is Dawnbringer.
Wow. It's not steel though. It's just light.
It saved us many times, though.
Right. It killed that bone dragon. Dracolich, you called it?
How could light kill a bone dragon?
It cut right through it.
It doesn't even have an edge to it. Just looks like a bit of sunlight.
The sun that can be powerful ally.
I thought
Believe
I'd
me,
seen
it's
everything.
light. Its light can cut. Or better yet, sort of burn.
Like for Zach to give me a persuasion check. Bringing up Dawn's light
Jeez.
with a 7. There's something about the telling. Maybe it's the accent, or maybe it's the kind of relying on other people's achievements. That would be
Right.
right. Of course, he did all the work. That makes all the sense. As you are walking through places that are gargantuan in size, like again, kind of think that Mines of Moria kind of feel, where it's been abandoned for centuries, but is in a state of rebirth, and there are people building nearby, but there are vast empty areas that it's just you all wandering through. Like giant 60-foot wide hallways, like giant. And like just as tall. They go on for miles. You would see a cart track running along through many of these hallways as well. Notably, Bruner will kind of step over them occasionally, and you can see carts kind of to the side here and there. Like, yeah, you could totally be using these carts, but we're doing a walk.
Right.
Does Dusk have any battles that he mentions or brings up?
I'm not much of a storyteller.
Sure, you got a battle or two that keep in mind. One of the greats.
But if you wish to learn the value of Dawnbringer, we were once ambushed by 3 Driders. Immediately after I prepared a masterful fish stew for the group. Very rude. The sunlight provided by dawn was able to confound them. As you're aware, creatures of the Underdark don't seem to operate well exposed to the light of the sun.
Brilliant.
So we, slaughtered them. It appeared to be the merciful thing to do for such abominations.
Send them back to the demon web pips they come from. Or their mates are dealt with or something. I do not know the whole tale. I kind of look to Zack and Yezebo and Weller. Are they like cursed or something?
Right. I think it's when you finish or don't finish your time at the academy, you get tested. I never finished, so I never got tested. I was attacked by a demon assassin when I was there. You know, doing away with the whole family.
Alright. What happened to the stew? Did you get to eat it? They go cold.
It was easy enough to recover.
Mm.
We ate it.
The stew out of the
Was
Dark
good.
Lake, out of curiosity.
Yes, very odd ingredients. It took me quite some time to figure out how to prepare them in a way that was palatable.
I hear they've got these weird eels down there. These giant blue clams.
Eat lots of
Everything was
mushrooms
very
down there.
chewy.
I'd like for Dust to give me a persuasion check as well.
Eh, 11.
Strider often, as I said, we see one or two coming up through here. We just burn it immediately. Sunlight, though. It's a trick I'll have to remember. Only each of my guards had a sliver of the sun as well. They said you talked to it. What do you say?
Well, we talk about many things.
Does it talk back?
She does. Mostly in my mind, but she has on occasion spoken out loud.
See. Very interesting. And as you're kind of going through like the city, you would come to the entire thing, he would tell you, the Vault of Kings is essentially the town center. It's stone towers within, sturdy walls that are carved from the rock nearby. All of it, some of it sheathed in iron, and other bits of it sheathed in a shinier material, mithril. But sprawling residential areas that are unoccupied, like vacant. The occasional brazier or sconce would be lit, but not as well lit as like where you had previously been. And as most people, he would explain, most people do live around this vault, which, granted, isn't as populated as he would like. But he's working on it. There have been some trying times with Mirabar and Mithril Hall kind of all competing to be like the best crafting. But he would also claim the forges are the best he's ever seen. Some of the most heat in any one place. But then he would take you through the long, winding tunnel down deeper, taking hours to trek. And he would tell you about some of his battles, which you can read about in any of the most of the Drizzt books. But yeah, he would tell you about the 100 drow he killed in the battle for Mithril Hall. He wouldn't tell you about the times that he's died. But he would mention how he did foster a drow and kind of treat him like not Jarlaxle. He would talk about Drizzt fondly and how he feels like he's a son. And a little bit about Canterbury and Wolfgar, how he crafted this great hammer for a barbarian named Wolfgar. And he would also talk about, like, as he talks about the crafting, he would say, like, it probably would have been better crafted if it were at the Great Forge here. He'd really talk up the forge and how, like, it is
Amazing.
amazing. But he would also talk about how there is a great being that both Drist and Jarlaxle were part of, telling a little bit about Yezbo's father
Mhm.
and how they inadvertently awoken a great elemental being, and it trying to find its name. It's in there somewhere. But and how it actually started to destroy much of the area around the forge itself, but was banished by different vats of water and other runes and old kind of aqueducts. They're very much like a Balrog.
Very
Mhm.
similar.
Mm-hmm. And he would tell you that the Iron Tabernacle, which is the central part, was kind of like Gauntlgrim's heart. Or actually, that's where he's taking you, is the Iron Tabernacle. The Vault of Kings would be kind of like its mind, but the Great Forge would be its hands. But taking you through the Iron Tabernacle seems like a great spiritual halls. It's more than a temple. It's an entire section of a city that would easily take the space of a town. There's vast cathedrals of stones that aren't quite there. Some of them are in ruins, others still sit there, almost like those liminal spaces, when you go places that, like, somebody lived here once, but it's not, but it's vacant, and, like, you can almost feel the energy of this space. Plenty of statues depicting dwarven deities and just regular dwarven priests. A lot of names have been kind of marred out through the ages. All the intricate patterns and knotwork have been faded. Many of the passages you see are blocked with rubble. You would even spot, as you're passing through this Iron Tabernacle, a small group of priests in the process of rebuilding one such monument to some dwarven deity. And Bruner will kind of... How do you feel like getting your hands dirty? Gonna help this lot out a little bit.
With you
All
now,
right.
Blitz.
All right. Right, mate.
And he'll put his shield, his axe, and his helmet down. Kind of grasp his hands together. Right, lads. So what you got going on today? And I'm like, oh, King Bruner, I'm so glad you're here. We've been working on trying to get the statue of Moradin ready, but we can't seem to get its hips just right. There seems to be some pieces missing that trying to get the stonework right, but it's just not fitting well. Bruner will turn. Well, I've got these lot with me today. Taking them down to see the forges and figured show them around the tabernacle. But seeing as we're here, might as well lend a hand. Hey, Help thrust that up. And you can see Bruner will go and start to lift. And like, he's not one to kind of... He's not shy of doing manual labor.
I will go help to the best of my ability. He is. You're really strong. You should probably see that. You could probably lift it better than me.
You know, are you all gonna help kind of like this rebuilding? They do have kind of some like ropes and pulleys as they're trying to get this probably a 30-foot tall statue.
Right, I can fly up and make sure everything's attached, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
It definitely would help.
Yeah, Dusk will help, and he'll if necessary, he'll use mending to put crumbled pieces back together.
Absolutely. Give me I'm gonna say a wisdom or insight check with that, Dusk. Zach, give me a investigation or perception check.
23.
23.
Rolling
And how else is everyone
bad.
else helping?
Probably picking up things, and because I don't really have any spells that can help with that.
All right, give me an athletics check.
Yeah, I don't really have any spells that can help with that. So, yep. All right, athletics. Five.
You're fucking elf, dude. You're just getting in the way. As some of the workers would just kind of shove Casmus aside as you're just trying to lift, but you're just kind of taking up space as you accidentally like kind of hurt your hand a little bit in one space. What are Fungi and Yesbo doing to help?
I have.
Zach, you're kind of...
Oh, I know what I'll do.
Good.
Give myself a little extra size here. I think I have to, right? Yep, I still got more bigwigs. I will eat a bigwig, and I will go try and manually help.
Absolutely. Give me an athletics
I'm a little
check.
extra strength.
Yeah. Advantage on
I don't know if I get an
athletics.
extra. I mean, I think I get an extra +4 with the enlarged condition.
Is it +4? I thought it gives advantage.
But it's a D4. It's a 1D4.
Gotcha. Man, it's 17. 20.
What's it, 20?
Fair enough. Zach's kind of calling out most things that are known, but still helps a little bit, given that extra perspective from flying. As Dusk will be kind of climbing occasionally and mending times, helping things stick perfectly back to where they were. The cracks start to fade in different spaces. And Fungi just getting as bigger than a dwarf. Easily helping lift up different pieces to fit in. Yesbo, what are you doing?
I'm going to cast Enhance Ability on myself for strength and just help.
Okay.
Uh,
With the lifting?
yeah, with the lifting.
What does your enhance ability look like as you cast it on yourself?
What would it look like? Maybe like golden threads, like banding over, like muscular.
Yeah. And give me an athletics check.
Oh.
At advantage. Alright, with the 16. Absolutely, kind of both you and Fungi almost working in tandem to lift up things that don't seem like you guys would be able to under normal circumstances. Although, Yesbo, you are quite strong from your gauntlets. The spell just further enhances that. Just much like the bigwigs. And given about an hour's worth of time doing this, Casmus, you keep trying, but it keeps like... they'll keep kicking you out of the way. But eventually, the statue itself, like, towers over nearby buildings and crumbled cathedrals as it's kind of like a pillar of solidarity or solidness in this dark old essential tomb. Bruner will kind of go back and collect his things after the work, and he'll pull out of a pack a water skin, take a big swig. Right, you all lot know how to put your back into things. Good to know. I appreciate the help, and kind of gestured to the priests who look a lot less like priests, more like construction workers, because that's essentially what they are. And it'll just so you lot going down to the Slumber of Ancients anytime recently? They'll kind of shake their head. No, sir, there have been too many ghosts lurking around. We didn't want to anger them today. I've been noticing more and more lately. I think something is angering them. So we didn't want to poke out the hornet's nests. Well, that's quite a shame. I was hoping to show them they're not worth anyways.
What is it?
The Slumber of Ancients. It's the lowest level of the tabernacle. That is the collection of crypts. Occasionally,
Right, and you plan to-
ghosts come up from there.
I'm interested in seeing this. You planned on taking us down there?
Don't want to anger the dead. You should let them lie for today if they are being disturbed.
Well, he said there's something that's disturbing them. Perhaps we could go and talk to them and figure out and help them out.
Give me a persuasion check, Casmus.
Good man.
Nope.
Oh,
No, I think we'd better stay clear of the path. Plus, we've got the entirety of the Great Forge up ahead. Good ways trek. Don't want to tire you out too much. Perhaps on the way back up, we can look at the Slumber of Ancients.
all right.
And he'll take you on and on and on. We're past the tabernacle, which would lead into great cavernous chambers that you start to feel warm. As the travel has probably been about 7 or so hours, but it is just like, it's rough on the knees and the ankles, because so much of it is uneven, unworked stone. That I will need everyone to give me a Constitution save. The DC has been determined by how well you've told stories and helped out.
Take off the blast. I got a 10.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why I had a
Nat
bless,
20.
but I had a nat 20.
Hey,
Oh, it is one.
Let me see. Yeah, it is.
as Yesbo and Zach are both getting exhausted from this walk. You both have 1 point of exhaustion.
Nice.
That's under conditions right now.
Mm-hmm. But as you making your way downtown to this cavernous area, you can see some areas of the cavern be split into smaller sections that house numerous furnaces and anvils You would even see a couple of dwarves working some smaller forges near the entrance here. Not quite to the great forge, but you would start to see foremen and actual smiths working. Not a ton, but there would be steam and smoke filling much of the air in here, as it's a little harder to see. And as you guys are here, you will feel a small quake. As you can see, like a small crack erupt through the walkway. Nothing much. But the quake quickly subsides. Crack in the ground. Bruner steps to the side. Shite. Miss
Is that from the
McGarrett.
forge?
There could be. We call out to one of the foremen. What's McGarrett up to today? I'll call back. Oh, King Bruner, we didn't see you. What dwarf? Sturdy dwarf, kind of coal-covered hands, like just blackened from work. Would walk up. No, sorry. You can see actually there's runes on his face. Or at least it looks like that, like almost like a chiseled kind of face. Sorry, no, things have been rather tedious and not great recently. Helgrim went to go check it out. And he's inspecting the area right now. Water channels have grown a bit erratic, he said. Some of the runes seem to be cracking themselves. Suspect some foul meddling. We're getting to the bottom of it, though. Someone must be trying to unbalance the sacred forge. I do not know what Helgrim has seen yet, though.
Right, well, we're headed down there anyways.
Bruner be like, well, thank you, Rollo. This could be something to deal with. Perhaps we better see what Helgrim's up to.
Alright.
And there is where we're going to end tonight. As you guys are not quite at the Great Forge yet, but just at the entrance, seeing signs of some moderate, I don't know, this old stone home, this old dwarven city, still working, but so much of it is dim. With hopes of delegations and people from other organizations to possibly help. Still have some time to spare in Gauntlgrim. But yeah, we'll end there tonight, and we'll see everyone next week.
We'll see y'all next week. Good night, Twitch.
Good
Good night,
night.
Internet.
Night.